Alright, welcome back everyone. It's Zenith Online Racing. We are live. It's round 3 of Tier 1. We're in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Got things underway here. Packer, as always, first guy out on his outlap. We got GXW there, you can see on the screen, just leaving the pits as well. If anybody could just... yeah, Packer first. Always first. First out, first place, first qualifying, first comment. This guy loves the number 1. I'm surprised he doesn't run with it. I guess he can't. Unless you win the championship. It'd be nice if we could mod that in. Anyways, not to get too sidetracked here. Running solo tonight in the booth. So, no party chat, which means the audio balance had to be tweaked a little bit. So if somebody could let me know if it's sounding clear, a little too quiet on my end, a little too loud on the car end, vice versa. If it's cars are too quiet, can make some tweaks. I think on board we're probably going to find the audio's a bit louder, so let's just get on board as well, see what kind of audio mix we got there, and then if anyone can leave me some feedback, be greatly appreciated. So we do have another comment, but I don't see it on my phone, so I'm not too sure. Check in a minute, see if it comes back. Packer heading down this crazy long back straight, the longest straight on the calendar, and just about to start his hot lap. The first guy on a hot lap, as always, is QBR Packer. Let's ride on board, swings it in, turn 1, kisses that apex very gently, doesn't quite touch the curb, using all the track there. Lock up a little bit there, but carries good speed, runs a little wide, stays away from that barrier though. Really good exit there from Packer, so a little lock up will cost him a bit of time, but not too much. He's carrying so much speed through that corner. Same here as well. That lockup is basically just doing enough to keep that car from flying off the road. Sound seems good. Appreciate that, Scavney. Thank you kindly, sir. Just let me know at any moment if it does sound a little off. I probably will trail off and mumble at times, but it sounds about as loud as I usually have the audio every week when I am in the party, so I think it'll be fine. Usually I hear another voice much louder than the game, so it's hard to tell how loud it is in comparison, but because I can't hear myself. We'll work it out. We have a 14-minute qualifying session to make sure everything's perfect before the race. So Packer, oh man, I can't believe he didn't get a cut for that. That was right over the curb. Thought he was done for there. If you take too much curb there, you end up in the barrier on the exit. So it's a very aggressive lap here from Packer, and he tends to do this, gets out early in qualifying, puts up a really good lap, and then doesn't really try to beat it for most of the session till near the end. He'll go out and do another one. But this one's looking pretty sharp from Packer. Opens that DRS, still a ways to go to that finish line, and we'll see where he crosses the line. It's a 37.8 from Packer. That's a very good time to start qualifying. Let's check in with GXW out on the mediums. Oh, that did look a little sloppy. I don't know if we're just getting some lag. The car doesn't really look like it's actually behaving the way it should. With GXW again with those, always seems he's having internet connection issues. He seems to be jumping around quite a bit. In race and on camera as well, but it's a bad lap for JXW. Didn't realize he's way off the pace there. Mr. Joshua with a 40.3 on the soft, so well off the pace of Packer here. Zamagos with a 33.9. Good lap from Zamagos. We got a Mercedes coming down as straight as that Jinnit. No, it is Jinnit, and he's heading into the pit lane. Nearly ripped his tire off in the process. J. Cole making his way through. Let's see what kind of time J. Cole's putting up here. Nearly into the wall there, so look at that turn, the way he took it compared to Packer. Packer right over the curbing, no lockup. J. Cole goes purple. Oh, J. Cole into the barrier there. That is going to cost him dearly. You need to be on the throttle well before he had to lift there, and going to lose a ton of time down this straight. He might as well just head in the pits, I figure. Maybe even lost a bit of wing there. Not sure this lap's worth putting on the board at this point, but no, he's going to go for it anyway. It'll be a 39.2, so he's still ahead of a few drivers. Puff with a 39.1. Good lap from Puff Digital there. Gets himself just on the cusp of the 38s, right behind his old rival from Tier 2, Maverick, with a 38.9. So Lando puts up a very good time. Edged out Packer there onto provisional pole. Hard to keep track of everybody here. So Packer heading into the pits. Let's get back Down here we got a Ferrari probably heading in the pits as well. We have not seen Durnia out on track yet. I think Dauntless making his debut here in Tier 1 tonight. Let's get on board with Dauntless making his way down the street. He's going to pick up a bit of a slipstream from that Ferrari ahead. Pretty careful as he enters the pit entry there. Could be caught out, but 40.1 for Dauntless. So Dauntless in his first Grand Prix of the season. It's round 3 now. He's missed the first 2 races, but I think he'll be more available as the season progresses, from what I gather. Doth looks like he's going for another run here. He is pushing a little bit. So maybe those mediums need a lap or 2 to get warmed up. Oh, big lockup from Doth there. A lot of curb as well. Just did not carry enough speed through that corner. And Doth running no line since last season, so just a little less confident flying through those corners than you see some of those top guys, Lando, Packer, running with the line on. So Doth now tucking it along the right edge of the track, making his way to the start-finish line. Can he get under 140 here? No, it's going to be a 40.6 for Doth. Not too bad on the mediums, but all the medium guys struggling to get into the top 10 here, save Camden and Axton. Camden and Axton both in the top 10 here. Camden making his way back into the pits. Zem as well, also on the mediums, interesting to note. Sorry, he's fitted the mediums. I believe he's in the pits with them fitted, so he did do his lap on the softs. We have anybody on an out lap? Joshua's on an out lap. We got Dauntless. He's on an in lap. Beck is on a in lap as well, so looks like Mr. Joshua probably going to be the only guy pushing at this point. JXW, is he pushing? No, I think he's heading in the pits. Yes, he is. Scary stuff. The way his car is moving with the glitches there, heading into that pit entry. I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone tear their wheel off in that pit entry. As it's one of those ones where if you get it right, you can make up a lot of time, but if you get it wrong, you're out. It's a very fast entry there. You're pretty much going 330 or 40 kilometers an hour. Well, Camden dragging the side pod along the barricade through the castle section. You heard the clunk there. He looks like he's just putting in a few laps, get warmed up to the track. Let's go check in with Mr. Joshua. Should be starting his lap very soon. Driving the Ferrari this season. Was in the Mercedes last season with his teammate Matthew Durnia. Matthew Durnia moved along in the Ferrari, so Ferrari poaching. There they go, passing each other. What a great shot. Ferrari poaching the 2 Mercedes drivers for their team this year. That was a brilliant shot. I have to mark that on the time there, 9:30. Oh, looking tidy through turn 1. Makes the entry into turn 2. Gets on the throttle nice and early. It looks like a really tidy lap so far. I'm not sure he's pushing as hard as he should, but it's definitely tidy and steady. So he should improve on his time the way he's driving. Not too bad there, Bobby. Everybody's looking pretty sharp. Lando with a good lap. Packer looked really tidy on his lap, so Lando beating that's pretty impressive. I unfortunately missed Lando's lap. You see Joshua and Durnia pass each other on the track again there. We just couldn't see from the angle we were on, but yeah, great little shot we had a few moments ago. Joshua a little hesitant on the exit there through the castle. Ooh, and a little snap of oversteer on the throttle there. That's a little surprising. So it's going to cost him a little bit of time on this little straight with a couple kinks in it. So he can do a wide turn in there. Gets a lot of curb, but carries some good speed through there. Just had to take his time getting on the throttle as the car was unsettled. Very wide apex there. Going to cost him a bit of time. We're making our way down the final couple turns. One slight right-hander now, and all the way down to the start-finish line. DRS opening now. And Mr. Joshua, see if he can beat that time in under the 140s, perhaps. He is 39.8 or 39.48 for Mr. Joshua, so very good lap from him. We know Durnia's out there running a lap, but I don't know, Durnia's gone into the pits, so Who else do we have out on a lap? It looks like one of the AlphaTauris just crossing the line. JXW it is. He's starting a run. We've got a Haas car. Is that Woody out there? It is Woody on his first out lap. Sorry, on his first hot lap. Just finished his out lap. We didn't ride with Lando. Let's ride with Lando. We have not seen Lando on board yet, and it looks like he's up 4/10 on his previous run. That is impressive. Looking sharp in that. Williams heading through the castle. Yeah, turns in really nicely there. Uses that curve, gets the car rotated well, carrying a lot of speed, but a little bit of a drift there. So didn't quite get on the power as much as he wanted, but the amount of speed he carried through that whole sector, I don't think he's lost all that much. We're doing quite well still. And nearly cuts the corner. I mean, these guys, Lando and Packer, are basically aiming to cut that corner, and the car just won't let them. Yeah, he's up 2.78 on his previous lap, so that will put him possibly under a 37.5. Should make up a bit of time here, because he had a pretty nice run out of that final turn, the final real turn. And let's see what he can do. DRS opening now, and it's a 33 on the chart at the moment. Can he get a 37.5? Yes, he does. 37.5, dead on. Oh, good lap there from Lando. Improves on his previous run. Packer's still sitting in the pits. J. Cole starting a hot lap. J. Cole, a very fast driver as well. Let's ride with J. Cole here. Rocket number 98. Oh, just too much speed there. He had to get on the brakes in the middle of the apex. That did not look good. He's actually got the battery turned down, so perhaps just finish his lap. And that's probably what's happened there. It looks like Eric turned the battery down as well. A lot of these guys done their laps. Woody with a 39.2. So Puff, 38.9 for Puff. He's creeped into the 38s. He's currently 8th in qualifying. Puff always a really strong qualifier. So if he can get himself in the top 10, he'd be in a pretty good spot for the race. Looks like pretty much everybody's gone to the softs now. So see some interesting strategies during the Grand Prix. We'll probably see some soft medium, maybe some soft hard. Maybe I don't think a 2-stop will work, but I think most people banking on a safety car here, especially in the opening laps of the Grand Prix. Dauntless looks like he's just finished a run, is pushing. Let's check in with Ryan. He's got 0 laps on his tires, so he should be on a push lap. See how he does here. Whoa, someone's gone around there. That was a Ferrari, I believe. Was it Joshua or Durnia? That would have been Durnia. That's why the ghosting is on. There's not much room to avoid things like that. There's a piece of front wing there. Ryan really smooth through the castle section there. Not being overly aggressive on any of the corners, just carrying a nice momentum through all 3 turns. A little bit of a lock up there. It'll cost him a tad, but nothing too major. Good on the brakes there. Gets on the throttle nice and early. That was a really solid corner there for Ryan. This is going to be a nice haul down to the start-finish line. Let's see if he can break into the 38s here on this lap. Get that DRS opened up. A nice camera shot. Let's see what he can do. 38 for Ryan? No, 39.2. So an improvement, but not quite enough. So a lot of guys in the pits. Let's see if we can keep an eye on some of the guys making their way around right now. And they're going to be starting hot laps or not. Dauntless heading into the pits, so no. I think Durnia also heading into the pits. Check in with the McLaren. Is it Beck? It is Beck. So he's just getting, actually he's doing an in-lap as well. Puff in the pits, Doth out there, and an in-lap as well, I presume. Doesn't have much battery left, and it's his second lap on these tires, so not sure. He might be going for it here. Nah, DRS. Yeah, he's heading in the pits. Okay. Let's get these out laps tracked. We'll figure out who's where right now, because we're pretty much at the end of qualifying. So J. Cole making his way through Sector 1. We got a Red Bull. Looks like Zamoglis is going to be our first hot lap of this bunch. So we'll check in with him shortly. We got Joshua. So Zem, Joshua. I believe it's probably Camden. Yeah. Another Red Bull, which would be Axton. Zem, Joshua. Durnia. J. Cole and Camden, it looks like. Okay. Let's get back to Zamoglis. No, Zamoglis has Pitt, actually, so it's not him. This will be Joshua, I believe, will get the first hot lap in at the end of qualifying here. So we'll ride with Mr. Joshua for now. Maybe Woody is out there. No, it looks like he's on an out lap as well. And pretty much everybody on their out lap currently. So Mr. Joshua first in line for the final runs. Right on board with the Ferrari driver. Keep an eye behind there. We've got J. Cole and Camden behind him. Then I believe that'll be Puff. Should be Puff, yes. And then Axton behind Puff. It is. Okay, so back to Mr. Joshua. We kind of know who's where now. Less than a second between 4th and 15th. Great thing to point out there. Co-commentary from the chat. Bobby. 38.6 for Eric. And then all the way down to 14th, 39.5. Actually, to 15th, 39.6. So yeah, that's a really tight window there. So Mr. Joshua making his way through Sector 1 right now. He's up a bit on his previous time. He's going to need a lot more if he wants that top 10 start. Maybe he wants to... Starting P11 wouldn't be too bad on this track. Get a nice tire strategy choice. Short shifting there, get on the throttle nicely. Oh, takes a lot of curb there on that castle entry, but pays off for him very nearly into the wall, but ended up saving a lot of time through there, so that's kind of what he needed based on his first sector. See how much he's up in Sector 2. Get a big improvement here. He could be in a good spot. With green flag flashing, so maybe an incident ahead. Guy's slowing down to try and get some room. He's gone purple, so 271. So he is up just enough to eke into that top 10, it looks like. DRS opening now, and cruising down. Nice heli cam shot. Across the line, 39.1 for Joshua, so it's 10th, just on the cusp there. Let's check in with J. Cole. These guys are going to be coming fast down the straight with that, the speed they're traveling at. I don't even think I'm going to get to Axton behind. So 37.8 for J. Cole, improves his time. Not by much, though. Actually, Puff is next. Puff is up 3.5 tenths. That'll give him a nice boost. Up into 4th for Puff. What a great lap from Puff. Axton jumps to 38.6, so just behind Puff. So Puff is out-qualified Axton here. That's a really good showing for Puff. Great stuff there. Top 4 at the moment. Check in behind with JXW. He's up 4.5 tenths. That will give him a serious jump as well. He jumps ahead of Puff, so end of 4th for JXW. Nice lap there. Not sure who we have behind. That's Dauntless, perhaps, making his way down to the line here. And he do 38.7 for Dauntless into P8. And I've lost track of who's behind Maverick. Into P5, so he beats out Puff just barely by 0.02 of a second. And Eric as well, so Puff puts in a stellar lap time and is still sitting P7. Like, how frustrating is that for him? Look, it just shows you how close this field really is. Look at the timing difference between the top 10 there. Woody heading toward the line here. Heading in the pits, actually, so I don't know who's ahead of him there, but check in. Doth about to cross the line, 39.2 for Doth. So Doth's qualifying woes continue into round 3. He's been struggling in quality this season. I think that's pretty much it for qualifying. Yeah, everybody's done. So that's it for quali. Strong showing for Puff there, but look at the times in the top 10 here. You know, Packer, J. Cole, and Lando really duking it out at the front here, so that's going to be a really tight field. Excel Lando, Excel J. Cole, and QVR Packer really fighting it out. JXW has been having a really strong season in Tier 1 and EU Tier, the best of the rest, unsurprisingly, the way he's been driving. It's 38.2 for JX. Eric with a strong quality there. He's P5, 38.5. Maverick just barely behind him with a 38.532. And then Puff with a 38.552 just behind Maverick. Run you through the rest of that order there. Look at the splits there. That's unbelievable stuff. That is just madness. JXW down to 15th Doth is split by a second. A second a lap is easily attainable with race pace. Any of these guys really could be fighting for P4. We kind of see our top three on pace there. Lando quite a bit ahead of the other two, but J. Cole and Pack are very close, so they could be disruptive to Lando, and they could be disruptive to each other in their chase for Lando. So, poised for a very good race here. It's looking pretty strong through the field, and obviously a lot of overtaking opportunities in Baku, so we should see some really solid racing here today. I don't think we have a weather report. I mean, it sounds like you kind of don't want him to, Bobby. You kind of don't want Puff to get points. Let's keep an eye on that thing on the right there. Make sure nobody readies up early, because then we'll know that they have a 10-second penalty right off the hop. Something that happens nearly every week. We end up with someone readying up before they should. Usually it's someone who hasn't been racing a lot, like Woody or Dauntless maybe. Something like that. But so far so good. Everybody looking through their strategy, no doubt, at the moment. And should see a really solid race here. Yeah, those times from P4 right down to P15. 11 cars within a second of each other. That midfield is going to be a really, really tough battle. There's going to be some safety cars, too, that will probably throw a wrench into everybody's strategy. Like, it's going to be a really strange race, I feel. I'm really looking forward to this one. Somebody's readied up. That's Puff. So Puff ready to get things underway. He is the race director, so everybody's A-OK. No penalties today. We got a nice, clean race right off the slate. No penalties to consider, which is always a nice thing right off the hop. We'll see how long that lasts in race. I figure we're going to see some safety car bumping and whatnot at some point. This tends to happen every week. Clear race, beautiful. Sounds good, Zamoglis. In case you're wondering, Sil Gomez is Zamoglis. If you read his name backwards, it's Sil Gomez. Took me a really long time to figure that out. Longer than I'd like to admit. So let's check the tires. Pretty much everyone outside the top 10 on mediums or hards. Great idea in my opinion. I think that's the way to go. Everyone in the top 10 obviously on soft. So Beck kind of got the worst of it there with the P10 start on soft. Dauntless, Axton, Puff kind of in an iffy spot as well. Yeah, it's going to be frustrating for those guys. So hopefully those guys will be hoping for a good start and make up some places early in the first lap. We see Lando leading the bunch right now. Looks like a pretty quick formation lap at the moment. Not too much tire warming going on. Got J. Cole tucked in just behind. Nice. I guess this is the crane shot. Nice overhead crane shot. There we go. Look at that. Great stuff from the race director there. See all the balconies. Akin to Monaco, the balconies along the circuit. Some really nice feature of the Baku circuit. It has become a bit of a fan favorite race. It seemed kind of gimmicky at first. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but it seemed like a gimmick at first, but it's really become a really, really solid racetrack. Always really interesting. Oh, of course, the famous incident between Seb and Lewis where he brake tested him, supposedly, right down this little straight here. One of the most hilarious moments in F1, in my opinion. That was just pure gold. I was right up there, actually. I think Seb switching the signs in Canada is probably #1 Seb moment, but man, Seb, love him. Oh, excuse me. Terrible time for me to choke on my own spit right before the race is about to start. All right, Lando sliding into the P1 grid slot. You see him just about to stop on the yellow line, well ahead of the rest of the field. Jekyll really taking his time, eking up to the back. Got Packer, Jax, Eric, Maverick, Puff, Axton, Dauntless, and Beck is your top 10. See the rest of the cars filtering in behind. Get you back to the front for the start of the Grand Prix. Not the greatest camera shot I've ever seen, but at least we can kind of see all the cars in one angle. We should be able to see the lights as well. It's round 3 of Zenith Online Racing. We're here in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're about to get things underway. Let's get those lights fired up. Any minute now. There we go. All right. We're ready to go racing. We got 3 lights on, 5 lights on, and we're away. Looks like a good start there for Lando. Gets off the line well. He's well ahead. And Packer has jumped J. Cole into turn 1. Everybody getting through pretty clean. It looks... Oh, someone's out. Someone's out behind. It's a McLaren. That's Beck out of the Grand Prix, it looks like. I believe he's out. No, he's not. He's actually still in. The ghosting saved everyone behind. Oh, my Lord. The ghosting saved everyone behind. But, yeah, VSC there for... Puff. Oh, no, Puff's gone round as well. Was he collected in that incident, or did he have his own problem? Yeah, it looks like Puff had an error into turn 2, perhaps. So, Puff has lost his top 10 start. He's on the softs. It's another miserable start to the Grand Prix for Puff Digital. It's been a really tough return to Tier 1 so far. I got a feel for him there. Let's get back to the front here. So, Lando currently in the lead. Packer tucked in behind. J. Cole in third. And I believe that is JX... No, it's Eric behind, actually. Eric has jumped JXW on the start. Maverick tucked in behind JX, and we're racing again. Let's get this thing underway. Tire's going to be a little cold there with a start and a VSC halfway through the first lap as well, so... Might see some incidents back here. You never know. Everybody's looking pretty tidy. Oh, we got Joshua making a move on Doth. There's something wrong with Doth. Did he make a mistake there? Oh, they've touched going into the corner. A bad shot. I was on the wrong driver there. My apologies. But yeah, Doth and Joshua touching in the corner. Now Durnia sneaks by. There's a little bit of racing action going on back here already. Look at this. These cars are nearly side by side through a very tricky part of the track, and there's a bit of wing going there. DRS enabled. That's not right. We're on the second lap. Man, this game is ridiculous. There goes Jinnit flying by Joshua. Let's get back up to the front here. Camden, has he made a move? Bit of a lock-up there. Eric is sliding down the order, it seems, or we just have timing issues again, like we always do. Yeah, we do. Unsurprisingly. First 3 laps is always a shit show in F1 2020. Thanks, Codemasters. Hope you do a copyright strike and figure that one out. Actually, I don't want a copyright strike, but hopefully you get pinged by me saying the full game name. You come take a look at the mess you've created here. Unbelievable. How am I supposed to commentate a race like this? Can't work under these conditions. Lando leading the Grand Prix, making his way through the castle section, despite the fact that it says P4. Can you tell I'm annoyed by this at this point of the season? At this point of the game cycle, like where it's February, man. Like, how is this not fixed? So Lando off to a really good start here, and J. Cole slowly applying the pressure to Packer, trying to find his pace at the moment, so he can close up on Lando. Eric doing well behind J. Cole here, closing in as well, and bringing JXW, Maverick, and Axton behind as well. JXW's car is a little bit of a connection issue there. It looks like he's about to crash every single corner. That's not the case. It's just the way the game displays it. Eric doing really well here. It's been a solid drive from Eric so far. Show telemetry. I don't really care for the telemetry all that much, to be honest with you. Takes up a lot of the screen, and I generally don't show it week to week, I'm not gonna lie. It's also, I guess if we don't talk about it, I can show you, but just sometimes we talk about it in the commentary booth, and the guys racing they know what kind of battery the guy in front or behind is working with, so we generally just leave it off for that matter. But yeah, I can bring it up for a few moments. I'm going to turn it back off, though. I'll just leave it on for a few minutes. I just like to get some nice shots of the cars going around, so try to take all the clutter off the screen. I like the track map, though. It helps me keep track of who's gone off. If we have some spins or issues, I can usually pinpoint them with the yellow flag and what car color has stopped, so justified some of those things. GXW a lap down, apparently, so the timing, always an issue. Frustrating with this game. Still hasn't got that right. But so gap's starting to form a little bit near the front. Let's get back here. This bunch has been racing very close since lap 1, and they're still quite close together. Doth leading this group. He's got Zenith, Durnia, and Dauntless tucked in behind. Omar, welcome back, my friend. Eric's doing really well tonight. Glad that he's got a fan in the chat here cheering him on, because he's putting in a really solid performance over the first 3 laps. Right on board with Zenith. You see the cars snaking behind, making their way down the final couple corners, down this very long back straight of Baku, very famous. And Zenith's going to get that DRS. Should be an easy overtake here with the toe and DRS. You see the guys behind duking it out as well. Let's check in with them. This is Durnia and Dauntless. Dauntless down the inside. Little deep, but gets the move done. He's going to hang on to that. And Doth does lose out to Zenith. Dauntless with a big lockup. Oh, and he nearly loses the car there. Durnia had him dead to rights, but Dauntless came across the front of his car. Durnia would have been in big trouble if he didn't lift there. So very unfortunate. That was pretty much a guarantee overtake there, and he was forced to lift. Puff Digital, after that spin on the first lap, is starting to close back up. Looks like he's got all of his wings still, so he should be able to put some racing in. He's not racing slouches by any means here. These guys are... Durnia's won a few races in this league, so it's going to be really tough sledding trying to make his way through the field here. Doth with a 3-second penalty. Dauntless again with another moment. Really struggling with those tire temperatures, it seems. Once you start sliding like that and you continue to push, it starts to unravel a little bit, especially on the soft tire, which probably isn't supposed to last more than 5 or 6 laps here around Baku. So to see some guys starting to struggle on those softs. Doth on the hard tires, probably just getting those things into the right temperature zone now. Gonna start doing well. We'll keep an eye on Dauntless here. We got some action up the front. They're switching places. Let's check in with Maverick. Trying to make a move on Axton, but I think he got defended well there. Check in behind. Dauntless, Matthew Durnia, very close to the back of Doth here. Could we see a double overtake here? Very well could. Durnia is within reach. And he sends it late. Oh, and he's going for it. He's going for both cars there. That was absolutely bonkers from Durnia. Oh, what a crazy maneuver he tried there. And we'll get back to Maverick and Axton. We'll try to keep an eye on this scrap for a little bit now that we've seen some action back there out of the points. We've got a battle going on for P5 here, so we'll keep an eye on this for the next few moments to see how this gap plays out. Maverick with a bit of an issue there, lost a bit of ground, but slowly reeling Axton back in. Looks like Durnia and Dauntless still scrapping here. Not a very good place for overtaking, though. I don't think we'll see any moves there. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Someone's gone off ahead there. You see that car going very slow. Who is that? Is it Eric? No, it's Packer. Packer's made a mistake, and he is going very slow. He's lost a lot of his wing. Packer in big trouble here. The championship leader has made a mistake for the 2nd week in a row, and he's been passed by his teammate Camden. Unsurprisingly, he cannot make these turns, so Packer going to have to pit early here. It's not going to cost him too much because I feel like the pit window is pretty close to opening for the soft runners, but that wing change is going to cost him 8 seconds. He's losing a lot of time here on the exits of these corners. He needs to be carrying a lot of speed here to keep up with the guys ahead, and that's going to cost him dearly. Riding on board with Camden now, I imagine Packer has to pit. Yeah, we do see other guys diving in the pits, so the window is open. Packer sort of lucky in that sense, but still obviously lost a lot of time there. All kinds of action going on here. Guys coming out side by side from the pits. Check in with Camden. He might have a crack at this thing, though. Maverick with that DRS as well is going to be tough to make a move. Maverick just sort of covering that inside line off. Just make sure Camden knows that he's not going to give it up easy. With Ryan trailing Lando here. Lando just come out of the pits and on those fresh hards and has come out in basically clear air. He does have a bit of traffic ahead to work with, but shouldn't cost him too much for the next lap or two. So the overcut maybe work on the other guys on the softs at the front, but he'll start to lose time shortly. Maverick nearly into the wall there. Everybody's starting to look a little clumsy through this section, especially those soft runners. Camden running on the mediums, though, being a bit better of a spot with the slightly harder compound. They won't be wearing at this stage. We have another yellow flag in Sector 2. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. I do see it there. Not sure who it was. But Axon and Eric currently battling for the current lead of the Grand Prix at the front there. We're on board with Camden. Let's get to the front. You should be able to see behind as well. Axton going to make this move. Is he going to try to pass him going to the pits? Is either guy pitting right now? Oh, Axton, that was very ballsy. My lord. Oh, man, I didn't think he was... I thought he was staying out the way he was driving there. That was insane, man. If he didn't get on the brakes there, it would have been the race over for Axton. Axton trying to get out. He gets a nice, smooth pit stop. So he's done there. We'll get back to Zamoglis. He's actually just past Dauntless because he's pitting. And we'll see where everybody filters out here. Check in with the Axton. Eric. There's Eric there behind. So Axton and Zamoglis side by side. And it looks like Axton cleared that group, so that's a pretty good news for him. But he does have a lot of guys on hards and mediums ahead of him to worry about. Lando looking really good here with J. Cole trailing, both on their fresh hards. They're sitting in the best spot at the moment where Axton, Eric, Packer, Maverick all caught up in traffic now on their fresh tires. Puff has pit to the mediums. Not sure. I'm not sure if he's aiming for a two-stop or if he's just banking on that safety car coming out, but we are on lap 7 already. Race is absolutely flying by. Yeah, you guys missed it. What's he done now? I don't know what he did, to be honest. I saw a yellow flag, and then it was one of the few drivers I expected to have made an error up ahead, and sure enough, I saw him start to slip down the order a bit. So, yeah, some kind of error through this part of the track, and he was going quite slow, missing about half of his front wing. So, not too sure. I think it was about lap 5. If you guys want to rewind a little bit, you can probably pick it up somewhere. I guess you won't see it, or maybe go rewind on Packer's stream. Might be able to see it there. Lando passes Woody for P2. It's net lead of the race at this point. Woody obviously needs to pit again, so a bit of a roadblock at the moment. Jinnit trailing J. Cole, trying to keep up. He's actually getting a nice little tow from him there. That's going to help him quite a bit. Let's check in with this group behind. A bit of action going on here. Axton, Zem, Eric, all very close together. We got T-Money trailing Joshua a few spots down as well. Let's stick with this battle for the next little bit. Jinnit should not be applying too much pressure to J. Cole, so we don't really have to keep an eye on that gap. Axton, the lockup, following Ryan's lockup. Everybody very close together in this part of the track. Axton cannot really afford to sit behind these guys for too long because it's on fresh hards and being pressured by a guy on older tires behind, and the guys ahead are on older tires as well. So the nice thing is he's got a bit of a buffer there. Zem would sit between him and Eric. Should help him a little bit. He's going to have to get by pretty soon here, though, or he's going to start losing a lot of ground. Take that telemetry off for a little while. Bring that back up for you towards the end of the race if you remind me in the chat. If I forget, I'll bring it back up towards the end so we can kind of see what everybody's working with for the final laps. Ooh, big moment for Axton. Oh, man. What an atrocious corner there. He got a little greedy on the throttle, went into the barrier, and is that Puff in the no, it's Doth. Doth has lost it in the castle, it looks like. He's got it going again, though. But he did lose an incredible amount of time there. But yeah, Axton with a moment there. Got a little greedy on the throttle. Lost it on the curbing into the wall. And then tried to get it going again and smack the wall yet again. So, unfortunately for Axton, he's going to have to pit again, and he's already on hards. That is going to hurt a lot. Oh, man, that's going to sting. J. Cole about to pass Woody. Oh, that's very close. Woody covering that off. He might keep the place, but J. Cole with that extra traction is going to get it done. Good stuff there from J. Cole. Gets that pass done. He had a few brilliant overtakes 2 weeks ago in the season debut. It was his debut. Well, I guess it was sort of his debut. He raced with us a long time ago, but for as far as ZOR goes, that was his first Grand Prix with Zenith Online Racing. We used to go by a different name back then. All 12 of us. The good old days. Zenith, though, getting a nice tow from J. Cole and Woody ahead. Being able to extend a little bit on those mediums. Build a bit of a cushion to the guys behind on the hard. So Zenith could be sitting in a really nice spot here. Should keep an eye on these gaps. Very tough to watch all the gaps solo. Usually got somebody kind of reminding me what to look at here, but I keep an eye on everything and not put you to sleep as well. So far, plenty of racing, plenty of overtaking. Eric closing on Zamagos here, really needs to get by. So Axton sort of squandered his opportunity there, making that mistake, and he's himself in a really awful position. But Eric looks poised for an overtake here. He's moving to the outside. Axton going to aggressively cover that inside line. Unfortunately, just doesn't have that top speed. He's going to have to tuck in behind. Perhaps gets himself an opportunity down the next straight. Looks like J. Cole starting to build a cushion now. What's happened to Lando? Lando's pit. Lando's made a mistake in pit as well. I completely missed that. There's been some sort of issue with Lando. He's gone into the pits as well. Man, that's 2 weeks in a row. Lando has thrown away. Last week was an easy P1. This week was a little. It's going to be a little tougher. He's going to have some competition, but and he squandered P1 yet again. Oh, another yellow flag. Looks like the castle once more claiming victims left, right, and center. One after another here. Just dinging the balls. Sector 1, we've got an incident. This is some crazy stuff here. A lot of yellow flags, but no safety cars yet. Packer closing on Zamaglis now. On much fresher mediums, we should expect him to get a move done shortly. If not here, it'll be down the long straight, surely. Ryan and Eric battling there. Looks like Eric maybe forced his way through. Sector 2, yellow flag yet again. I don't know if that's just a glitch at this point. There's some front wing flying around and run over by a few drivers. So someone's lost their wing at the front. Is that Dernier perhaps? It looked like a red front wing. It's Dernier, retired. Did he lose it in the pit wall? What has happened there? He has. I think Dernier crashed going into the pits. Unbelievable. I said it was going to happen, didn't I? I said that in qualifying. Someone's going to crash in that pit lane. I think he broke his front wing and dove into the pits late and probably had a lot less grip than he expected. And he's put himself out of the Grand Prix. So in the span of about 20 seconds, he's broken his wing and torn his wheel off in the pit entry. Obviously, we're not going to get a shot of that because it looks like it cleared the car pretty quickly. Or is he just... What's going on here? Oh, Joshua's pitting as well. Okay, I saw Ferrari in the pits and thought maybe Dernier just retired intentionally in the pits, but no. It looked like a mistake there. Ran out of gas. Yeah, well, hopefully we don't see any. So Lando pit lap 3 and then he's pit again. You think he's going for a 2-stop then? Is that what you're suspecting? Just checking the chat comments there. Maybe he is, yeah. It's entirely possible. You might get a cheap free pit stop. Ooh, that's very close stuff between teammates there. Maverick and Lando. Not the greatest place for an overtake, and very nearly could have ended in tears for the Williams team there. Packer closing on Ryan. Ryan's probably going to just get DRS here. He just closed into that window. So Ryan is going to get DRS, and Packer behind as well. See if any of these guys can make a move with that. Does not look like it. So Eric's safe for the time being. Eric does not really want to lose a position to Ryan on the older hards. He needs to keep these guys behind him, especially Packer. Ryan could be a bit of a spoiler for Packer here, but we know Packer's quick and he's not going to pull any punches. He looks like he's going for it here. He's going to send it down the inside. They're side by side. Packer late on the brakes with a big lockup. Oh, man. Leaves Ryan just enough room to be legal, I think, and Ryan better check his underpants after that one. I'm sure he thought it was nearly race over. Whew, that was a close one. Nice move from Packer, though. Kept it legal. I would say probably squeezed a tad, but not enough to really think that it was a dirty move by any means. He definitely kept it clean, but I'm sure Ryan would prefer a bit more space on an overtake like that. Packer showing why he is the Season 4 champion. Trying to retain that title here in Season 5. He's off to a very strong start over the first couple weeks. Had a big mistake last week. Still managed to snag a podium, though. So really good recovery drives from Packer. Every time he has a mistake, he usually manages to get himself back in the mix for a podium. And as you can see, he's working on accomplishing that task here as he's closing on Eric for P4. We got Jinnit and Camden who need to pit ahead. The views are rolling in tonight. 23 people tuned in. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you're not a usual viewer, hit that subscribe button. We got great racing action here 3 times a week. Zenith Online Racing. It's Tier 1 Monday nights, 8 p.m. There's our Tier 1 Season 4 champion, Packer. Getting an overtake done there. Moving back up to P4 after a mistake a few laps ago. Yeah, great racing action 3 times a week here, 8 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays, Tier 1 and Tier 2 respectively. And then the EU tier, 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoons, 8 p.m. UK time. So you hit that subscribe button, you get the notifications when we go live. I'm your Tier 1 commentator, Arbigga. Usually have somebody in the booth with me. Dauntless is out as he parked it in the pit, it looks like. Yeah, Dauntless has just gone into the pit and parked it. Just had enough for the night. Usually I have Mr. Zyg, Tier 2 driver, in the booth with me. I am a former Tier 2 and Tier 1 driver. I have retired. It's a Mika Hakkinen retirement. We don't know if I'm coming back. We don't know. I might come back eventually, but for the moment, I'm just a commentator. And that's why I'll never be world champion, as Fernando would say. But glad to have so many people here watching the race tonight. Hopefully some new viewers and some of the old faithful that's here week to week. Been a solid race here. We're about halfway through the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sel Lando on his second stint now on the medium tires, closing aggressively on Zamaglis here. He's going to have him pass before he even opens the DRS here. There he goes, absolutely flying. Lando closing on Ryan ahead as well. Might get a crack at this down the next straight. He's gained a lot of time down this very, very long straight here, the longest on the F1 calendar. We're running a bit of a short season here in Season 5, 18 races this year season instead of the 22. Shaved 4 races off the calendar. You can check out our socials at Zenith Online Racing or Zenith Online F1 for Twitter. I think at Zenith Online Racing for Instagram. But I think the links are in the bio. You can check the calendar there, see what's coming up. It is a random schedule. Mixed everything up this season. So we voted out 4 tracks and then shuffled the calendar. So a bit unusual. Won't be running in order like most leagues would. Usually we run a straightforward calendar ourselves, but just the timing of everything and break weeks built in, so there's a couple weeks where there's breaks built in as well, so we usually run exhibition races during those, and there's always something going on here. Usually they're just built around holidays because not a lot of guys show up, so we try not to run races that count on holiday weekends. Or at least not all of them. Zamoglis closing on Ryan, both on 13-lap old tires, and Ryan on hards, Zem on mediums. So both guys needing to pit. Zem looking to extend these mediums, possibly to get onto a soft stint. I think Camden out front be looking to do the same as well. I think if you're taking the mediums this far, you pretty much have to keep going at this point. Zem, is he going to think about it? No. Tucks it back in. Definitely had a look at that, but thought better of it. Probably going to get a better chance down the next straight. Should see Lando going to make a move here on Eric as well. Lando looks like job done. Easy peasy. No question about it. Let's get back to Zem. No, he's ran out of juice, I think, here. Get that telemetry up. Yeah, he's sort of out of juice. It's not too bad, but he's got to be smart about where he uses it. Definitely wants to save it for that long straight. Pretty much guarantee an overtake there if he gets the battery built up nicely. Check in with this battle. Axton, T-Money. T-Money chipping away at Axton there. Much older tires. Still trying to hang on, though. Oh, we got another yellow. It looks like the castle section yet again. That's got to be a glitch or something at this point, because I'm not seeing too much. Yeah, it is. Look, there's nobody's done anything wrong through here, and it's just yellow flag. Man, this game. It's just the norm for big video games now, eh? It's just bugs the whole life cycle of the game until they make a new one. Especially this one, there's all kinds. At least the timing fixes itself after lap 3, but the first 3 laps are chaos. You can't tell who's gone where. So here comes Zem, saving up that battery for the whole lap. You can see he's got a much better exit on this one. He's on a softer compound, but at this stage, I'm not sure what really would be better as 14-lap old hards or mediums, but Zem with that DRS, harnessing that battery power. They're going to be alongside each other into turn 1 here. It's tight. Zem gets it done, leaves plenty of room there. Nice overtake from Zamoglis. Ryan has to yield that place. Maybe he can take a stab back at it down this straight. Needs a really good exit here, though, and I imagine those hards just don't have much grip anymore. Riding on the right shoulder of Ryan. He's thinking about it, but no, not close enough. Thinks better of it. Look, a yellow flag in Sector 2 again. And there's nobody there. Oh, man. What a game. Anyway. No, look again. Oh, someone's actually lost it in Sector 2. Okay. That one was legit. I think it was Eric. Was it Eric there made a mistake, or? No, he hasn't made it through there yet. It must be Beck way behind. Yeah, it is Beck has made a mistake in the castle. Oh, Beck's out! Beck is out of the Grand Prix. Both wheels off. That is absolute madness there. Virtual safety car. Yeah, the safety car must be out of fuel. That's the second crash. And we've got a VSC once more. So, you think Camden, man, that has paid off handsomely for Camden. He is so close to the pit entry, and he needs to pit pretty much in the next lap or 2, I figure. He's got his VSC. Is he going to do it? He does it. Yes. Camden dives into the pits under the VSC. Oh, it's still going. The VSC is still active, so is he going to go hard just to make sure, or got to do the softs, right? Surely he's got to do the softs. Does go to the softs. Bit of tire management. He should be okay to get to the end. Camden, the only guy pitting, it looks like. Everybody else staying out. Oh, someone's blown an engine. Are you kidding me? Was that an engine failure? What was that? You guys saw that, right? I wasn't imagining things, was I? That looked like engine smoke, did it not? I don't know. Oh, true. JXW timing is a lap down. That's a great point, guys. He's actually not a lap down. Remember I was saying he has all kinds of connection issues every week, and I mean, he could be a lap down. Woody's out. Woody has gone out. A very bizarre place to lose the car. Woody is out now. Surely this is a safety car. We're going to get a safety car now or no? I don't think we are. Is this a yellow? Man, these marshals. Baku hires the best marshals out there, and it's a safety car. Okay, so full safety car now. That should work out for Camden to get these tires home, no doubt, but give his rivals an opportunity to pit too. What are they going to do here? I think Camden, he's going to close in. I think these guys got a pit to cover off Camden at this point, don't they? What do you guys think? J. Cole surely needs to pit. He's got an 8-second window right now. Everybody's stuck on time delta. J. Cole definitely pitting. Jinnit has stayed out very long. This is going to work out really well for Jinnit, actually, as well. He's going to get a really cheap pit stop here. And if the guys behind him pit as well, they do. Packer pits. Lando stays out, so Lando going to go into the lead on 7-lap-old mediums, but he's going to have Camden, J. Cole, Packer on his tail on fresh softs, and Jinnit, who is a pretty formidable driver himself. So it's going to be a really interesting end to the race. Everybody diving in the pits behind. Surely there's no reason not to at this point. So JXW is P10. Okay, so yeah, look, he's put him 2 laps down now as well. That's ridiculous, so we're going to have to sort that out. I mean, he's still out there racing, guys, so it's not like he's not actually earning P10. He's still driving it, but it just doesn't look like it. Puff pits. Everybody pits, really. Joshua is going to have to pit. I don't think there's a point in not pitting when you're right at the back of the field now. Puff serving a penalty, it looks like, as well. I don't know, it was just glitched the animation, so... Lando, I think he's put himself in a bit of a pickle here. He's going to be in big trouble. He's got Camden, J. Cole, Packer, Jinnit, Eric. Like, I mean, all these guys are fast enough to win a race. And they're all on fresh softs. And they're going to be within a second easily. There's no way Lando's going to build that gap on old mediums, I don't think. I think he's in trouble. I think Lando may have made a mistake there. I can see why you'd go for it. Maybe on lap 22 you stay out, but I don't know about lap 18. I think he's going to be in trouble here. It's a long way to go still. And, yeah, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. Camden, J. Cole, Packer, very, very fast. I would say J. Cole and Packer are more of a threat based on raw pace, but Camden drives a really, really solid race stint every week, and there's a reason he was contending for the title last season, so... Sitting in P2 on fresh softs, ran those mediums nice and long. Got his pit stop done, I think. Actually, I think he pit again. Maybe he went to another fresh set of softs just to make sure. But he had got his pit stop done and under VSC, so saved a lot of time there. And then let's check actually. And it's just the one stop for Camden. So obviously everybody going to have a lot of battery here. We'll leave that telemetry down until the final 3 or 4 laps, and we'll bring that back up for our friend in the chat there. I forgot his name. James something? Something like that. Jake, that's what it was. There you go, Jake. We'll get that back up for you towards the end. There's really no point in watching it at the moment with the everybody going to have a fully charged battery, I'd wager, after the safety car stint, so... Definitely something worth keeping an eye on towards the final laps, especially in Baku. If you have no battery, you're going to be dead to rights down that long straight. Making their way through Sector 2. I'm going to go refill my wine quickly. In case you're wondering, I am allowed to drink on the job here. I don't get paid, so I kind of do whatever I want. Sort of a weekly occurrence here. Arbiga drinks his wine while commentating the Monday night Tier 1 race. And I have to say, I really love it. I really do love it. It's a slice every week. Always a treat watching these guys race, and it's the cream of the crop. It's all pace-based as well, so we do some time trials and some evaluation races, and we sort the group. Everybody who signs up for the league gets sorted into the tier based on their pace. So, you know, the guys that the guys that are sort of struggling at the back here in Tier 1 would easily probably be winning races in Tier 2. It's kind of like the level of competition we have, and that's why you get that spread in qualifying from P4 to P15, only a second separating P4 to P15 in quali, and just really, really strong action every week. Last week's race, if you're new here, go check out last week's race in Hungary. It was absolutely stellar. Easily one of the best races I've commentated in a long time. Just non-stop action. You know how tough that track is for overtaking, and you see how close these guys are matched. Just imagine how brilliant the racing was last week. Really highly recommend checking that out if you're new here. Also hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tune in for our Thursday and Sunday night races, and then obviously next week for round 4 as well. Lando going to get things back underway any moment. He really likes to take his time under the safety car. That's white wine, my friend. Lando gets things rolling again. Oh, big lockup behind there. Jinnit looking to make a move, it looked like. Anything going on back here? No, everybody's got it pretty clean. Some side-by-side, but everybody getting through nicely here. There's going to be some really stellar racing here towards the end of the Grand Prix. We've got 7 laps to go here. We got Lando trying to fend off all the soft runners. White wine. Oh, man, there's a big incident there. Did somebody go off? Somebody went off, right? Yeah, JXW. Is he actually off, or is the game just completely broken at this point? I don't even know. Anyway, we'll not worry about JXW. He might actually be racing somewhere. He's probably desynced or something. Stick with the action up the front here. Look at the spread there. That's absolute insanity. The entire field is within a second of each other. Man, that's nuts. Yeah, Woody, you could probably pick it up on the theater, but if you want to report incidents, you got to make sure you save your videos. That's kind of part of the league rules. JXW's left the session. I don't know if maybe something did happen to his connection, but the league rules are sort of you gotta have footage. So you either set up your game to record 60 minutes and then at the end of the session hit save video, so you've got an hour of footage, or you can stream it, even if you stream it privately to your own channel, just so nobody else can watch it. It's completely up to you how you want to do it, but I recommend streaming it. It's just a really easy way to have your footage captured. You can just timestamp any incidents. J. Cole looking to make a move here, but no DRS. It's not quite as easy as it would have been with DRS. Maverick behind, right on the tail of Zimaglis. Trying to get by as well, so a bit of a gap forming here. Zimaglis kind of holding up the rest of the field, but these guys in the top 6 are all in a great position here. We could see some serious dueling down to the final lap. For the race win here. It's going to be some crazy stuff at the end. Lando's going to have a lot of work to do on those mediums. They're going to be 16 laps old by the end of the Grand Prix. The other thing, too, is if someone submits an incident against you, you don't have footage, you can't really defend yourself, even if you know you did nothing wrong, right? If it looks bad on their screen, then it's just how it is, so... Always a good idea to have footage. I just set up, go into your PlayStation settings, you can set it up to save an hour of footage. And I usually just do it after quali and then after the race, but I personally just stream. But that's how I used to do it before I streamed. Anyways, let's focus on the race here. J. Cole closing on Camden here. Let's get off the onboard shots so we get a little more of a view of all the cars going through. DRS should be activated on this lap, I believe. Packer very close to J. Cole here. Oh, it's going to be crazy stuff. I don't know if we're going to get a shot of it here. Not really. Side by side here. Let's see how it goes. J. Cole defending that inside line nicely. Oh, he's pushed Packer into the wall. Packer into the wall. He's lost a huge piece of his front wing there. I don't know if J. Cole left him enough room there, honestly. I think that was a little bit unfair. Packer had every right to be in that part of the track, and I perhaps should have conceded the corner at that point, but I don't think he had to concede, is my point. J. Cole needed to leave a little more room there, in my opinion, but Obviously hard to tell on a first look live. Packer, though, in big trouble here, carrying a penalty and now sliding down the order with wing damage. Oh, that's got to be so frustrating for him. Camden in a very, very good spot to win this thing. Not sure if J. Cole maybe picked up a bit of damage from that as well, but Camden very close to Lando. And if he gets through first, Lando could cause some problems. He looks like he maybe nudged the wall a bit there, Lando. But Lando could cause some problems and slow J. Cole down a tad. We could see Camden move on to a race victory here if he can build a bit of a cushion. See how he can do here. We're riding on board. Get back to the broadcast angle. See what we can do here. Jinnit running a really strong race here, though. He's keeping up with his teammate J. Cole, who's a very rapid driver. And Jinnit sitting in a great spot here for a potential podium as well. If any of those guys pick up penalties ahead, could very well end up on the podium himself. Actually, it looks like Jinnit's in the best spot for an overtake here. Is he going to get DRS as well? Let's bring that telemetry back up. Get that back up for you. He does have DRS, but he's completely out of battery. He's going to be struggling to get that move done. And I think J. Cole gets the DRS as well. So and this is where it's going to get interesting with the DRS. Whoa! Late move there from T-Money. Trying to go around the outside of Maverick there. Does not get it done. Oh, big moment for that Ferrari. That's Joshua. He's really struggling today. He's gone and lost a lot of ground to those guys. Here comes T-Money late down the inside. Side by side. It's a bit of a pinch. Ooh, T-Money nearly loses the car. Does well to save that, though. And Maverick, very fair defense there. I don't think he did anything wrong. Just T-Money getting a little slidey on the brakes there. Nearly cost both drivers a lot there. Joshua closing back up to the Red Bull now. Let's get back to the front. This is going to get really interesting here. Let me check out the batteries of all the drivers. Not going to point it out to anybody here, but a few guys doing better than others. I'll just say that. This Mercedes pretty evenly matched at the moment. Keep an eye on the action down the field as well. Try to jump to that if we can. But we got to watch this scrap at the front here with the DRS kicking in. Jinnit's going to have a much better toe here because he's closer to J. Cole than J. Cole is to Camden. Not close enough, though. J. Cole is closing on Camden here. J. Cole with some really nice overtakes a few weeks ago. See if he can pull off another one here and try and get up into P2. Lando might just hang on to this thing if Camden... Oh, J. Cole bottled it. He bottled it. He's out. J. Cole out of the Grand Prix. Are we going to get a safety car to end this thing? We very well could. J. Cole, you see, just pushing with everything he had, trying to get that P2, and ends up throwing away what surely was a podium. I don't think we're going to get a safety car at this point. It's a little too late for it. So I think that car will just get wiped clean, and we should go racing again. Camden's got a little bit of work to do, though, if he wants to get Lando here. So Jinnit currently sitting in a podium place at the moment. Jinnit is going to be absolutely thrilled with that. If he can finish this thing off and secure a podium, he's going to be absolutely elated. Did really well in Tier 2 last season, winning some races, getting on the podium quite frequently, and then coming back up into Tier 1. A really nice result for him. I know he did add an assist back in, I believe, that he had dropped for Tier 2, so understandably fighting at the front because he was always pretty fast here anyways. Now, if he didn't have those assists on it still, I'd be really impressed with this drive. Still a great drive nonetheless, but looks like he is poised for a podium at the moment. Camden has used up all his juice, and he cannot do anything to close on Lando at this point. Well, Lando maybe just on raw pace is going to have this thing covered off despite being on very old mediums. Any action down the field behind Maverick and Puff. Puff going for it. Puff going to get by and get that place done. Down the inside, late on the brakes, takes a lot of curb, but well ahead, sweeps across and covers the line off nicely there. See if he can maintain that. Not really much going on ahead. Looks like Maverick going to get DRS now as well, so we'll see if Puff can fight this back. Looks like Puff got a really good exit there, and I think he's going to have this covered. He does have a time penalty, though. Let's check in the time penalties quickly. 3 seconds and 3 seconds for both Packer and Puff. So Puff needs to make up a bit of time if he wants to keep that place. Back to the front, though. Zenith looking to bring home P2 here. Trying to harvest a bit of battery. Camden in the same boat. See, Lando's tires got to be nearly dead at this point. JXW did actually crash out, eh? I was wondering if you were just having some connection issues because your car was, the timing was completely off and it was glitching all over the screen and stuff. It was, just didn't look right. Anyways, Eric and Zenith now applying the pressure here. Eric very well could snag a podium here. That would be outstanding result for Eric. Man, this is going to be a crazy finish for the final podium place here. Zenith trying to get a move done, but he's not close enough. Eric just trailing behind as well. That DRS sort of just keeping everyone in place. Ryan goes around the outside of Zem. Gets that move done. No great exit for any of these guys. Still sort of sitting in the same boat here. Zenith trying everything to close and take a stab at Camden, but just can't get within striking distance at the moment. Packer has closed back in with that wing damage, though. These guys duking it out ahead of. It's given him a chance to close, but again, carrying a 3-second penalty that's going to, even if he gets by, it's going to cost him. He's surely be sliding at least one place down where Ryan is at the moment. Maybe Zem gets him too. It depends how much he gets held up by these guys now. It's going to be tough for Packer to find a way through here. Zenith is just sliding out of the range of Camden. Camden is almost nursing these tires home at this point. He's really not in any position to catch Lando. It's going to be Eric and Packer applying the pressure to Zenith here for that final podium place. Can he hang on? Will Eric get his first podium in Tier 1, or will Zenith make a glorious return to the podium in Tier 1? Remains to be seen. We're heading down the final few corners on the final lap here. Eric closing quickly. Not much juice left in the tank, though. Neither does Zenith. This is going to be really tight between these guys. We got Camden just ahead of them. Eric closing. Is Eric going to get this? He very well could. He's so close. Tantalizingly close. Lando wins the Baku Grand Prix. And Zenith, I think, snags the podium, yes. Did a little bit of weaving there at the end, but I don't really think that was to cover anything. It was more of a celebratory weave, but yeah. Eric finishes P4 by 0.1. Packer drops to P5. Ryan with a time penalty, obviously, as well, or had an error or something, because he has slipped down the order. T-Money 300ths off of Ryan, so that's it for Azerbaijan. Lando wins it on a bold strategy, stayed under the safety car, and it paid off. Camden takes P2. Zenith snags a podium. P3 for Zenith. Eric takes P4. Packer P5. Zem 6. Ryan 7. T-Money 8. Axton 9. Puff Digital gets his first point back in Tier 1. Congrats to Puff. I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that. He knew there was more in it with the qualifying pace, but Puff finally gets back on the board in Tier 1. I'm sure he's happy about that regardless. Go through the rest of the order there for you as we wrap things up. You guys can stick around. We're going to have some podium interviews very briefly. Going to invite Lando, Zenith, and Camden into the party. Oh, Michael Schumacher has won Azerbaijan. Brilliant stuff. Driving for the Williams team. Yeah, we'll get these guys in for a podium interview so you can hear from the drivers yourself. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Got 18 people still watching, 19 or 20 right up to the end of the Grand Prix, so that's a really good viewership. So, again, really appreciate you guys sticking around, watching the Grand Prix. Thanks for hanging out with me and keeping the chat bumping. Run through the rest of the order here. Maverick in P11. Joshua takes 12. Doth 13th. J. Cole 14th. DNFs, obviously. I think he still technically finishes because of the 90% rule. But JXW P15, it's Jake, for everyone from J. Cole down DNF. J. Cole, JXW, Woody, Beck, Dauntless, Durnia, all DNF'd. Unsurprisingly, we had 5 DNFs in Baku. That's probably right about where the odds makers would have put it. Probably about 3.5, 4. Tends to be a lot of incidents in this race. But that's it. Let me get those invites fired out for the interview. You can hear from the podium finishers yourself. And, oh geez, I guess I gotta make a party. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm not even in a party chat, so I gotta go make one. Jeez. Oh my god, that's not where I want it to go. I really don't like the new party system, I have to admit. I really like the old one better. I have to go and manually leave the party as well. What a joke. There we go. Back into that game menu. Still a lot of people sticking around for the interviews. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Usually a lot of people take off after the race ends.
Hello.
Howdy, partner. Sit tight for a minute. We gotta get these other guys in here.
Okay.
I accidentally went into the theater.
Oof. So, race from your view.
Well, it was Baku, that's for sure. To say
Yeah.
the least. To say the least.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff overall, though. Lots of action, as always. I pretty much expect that every week in Tier 1 now. It's just such a tight field, man. You saw the qualifying times were pretty ridiculous through, like, P4 to P15. Everybody was really close together. I mean, if you do the average, right, like 11 cars are a second apart. Like, that's less than a tenth between every car on average. So, that should tell you a lot.
Absolutely.
Should tell you a lot about the pace in the field here. And a couple moments for a lot of guys out there. And it looks like J. Cole and Packer had a bit of an incident there. J. Cole kind of ran, like, Packer was alongside him, and J. Cole sort of, on the exit of turn 1, just, I wouldn't say he, like, ran him into the wall, but he didn't leave enough room for Packer to get through, and Packer kind of needed some room, in my opinion. So, kind of a dicey incident there. Didn't really do anything wrong, but he did make a mistake earlier in the Grand Prix that cost him. Anyways, we've got our race winner in the chat, so we'll get the interviews underway. Excel Lando, how you feeling, my friend, after finally bagging that win, actually finishing a race here in ZOR Tier 1? Must feel good.
Yeah, can't lie. I'm completely exhausted. That race actually felt like it was 2 hours long.
It went by fast for me, I have to admit.
Oh, honestly, like, sat there, me and Jake after the race, we was just like, that has felt like it was hours.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
the
stressful,
actual race, like, quali seemed to fly by, but yeah, the race just, I don't know what, like, maybe it's because we had a safety car and a VSC, but yeah,
There's 2
I don't know.
VSCs, I think.
Was it TV? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
I was surprised though. It like halfway through the race, I was kind of like, oh, we're halfway through already. Like, holy crap! I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
honestly,
I'm
I
a
was just
lot
like,
busier
oh,
than.
this is dragging.
Yeah, for sure. And every time you go through that castle section, it's like you cringe, right? You're like, oh
Yeah.
no. It's just how it feels. But how's it feel to bag the win? Obviously, I think you did you intentionally run a two stopper there, or
No,
did you have some
I
wing
actually got
damage?
wing damage.
Okay.
Yeah, coming through. Is it turn 15, the one with like the kind of bumpy curb that no one ever knows if they want to go over it or around it? I think it's turn
Yeah,
15.
right near that the one you usually want to
Yeah,
go over, and if you miss it, you end up in
yeah,
the
I went
wall.
over it,
Yeah.
and that was the one time that I took too much speed over it. So yeah, hit the wall, and then coming through the S section, I actually hit the wall again, and that's what made me pit because I pretty much lost my full front wing.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
So yeah, I was just like, oh, a podium would be nice. And then yeah, the safety car came out. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, put you in a position where I questioned your decision to stay out. I really thought it was the wrong decision, but I was kind of like, I guess if he pit, he would lose more. Maybe he thinks he can at least snag the podium still, but kind of worked out
Hmm.
behind that Camden and the other guys behind were scrapping so much that you didn't really you were never really under threat, despite the fact your tires were probably cooked by the end.
Yeah, they were. When we restarted, they were on 37%. I think the right rear was. I think it like ended on like 68, 67%.
Yeah, so you're pushing it.
But I realized from the first stint that the softs are awful. Like I was sliding about on lap four, I think it was.
Hmm.
Um, So I knew obviously Camden's were fresh because he had quite a few from quali. I had like a U set which I didn't know whether like I was going to pit on it, but I wanted to. I knew I was always going to be behind if I pitted Packer, Jinnit, Camden, and J Cole.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just like, because I didn't know what the rest of the guys were going to do as well, and I was like, I'm fine being behind the guys I've just mentioned, but then the other guys, I was just like, I don't really want to be like almost hindered in a way of trying
Yeah,
to
exactly.
have to try and get through that, and then try and make my way through. I was just like, oh, let's just try and defend. And yeah, the mediums they didn't really die off. Like even at the end, I didn't really feel like I lost a lot of pace. I was probably going slower than what I was before, but I did. Obviously, it wasn't a detriment because of the softs, how much they died off as well.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, very great job there managing those mediums to the end, and the perfect little segue into our P2 finisher, managing the mediums. Camden carried those mediums deep into the race. You got that VSC at a great time, allowed you to pit onto the softs, got a cheap stop in there. How did the race pan out from your point of view? Did you think towards the end there with that safety car that you had a crack at winning the thing after seeing Lando not pit, running the old mediums? You surely thought you could easily bag a win at that point.
I actually didn't want the safety car to come out there. I felt like I was in a good spot to
Yeah.
gain some time on the guys ahead of me. And the thing too is that if we had no VSDs or safety cars, anything like that, I think I probably could have won the race. I think I was in a very good spot where I would make the medium go about lap 18 or so with the softs. And the softs were good when they were fresh, but they they were dead at the end. And
Yeah.
the thing with qualifying is that I considered going on the softs, and to be honest with you, I felt like I had to qualify top five, but I felt like the medium soft strategy would be really good. So my qualifying lap, I was going about 80%, just trying to stay at the top 10 so that I would get fresh tires. And yeah, I felt like the race, regardless of the safety car, went pretty well. I mean, I'll take P2 any day. And I was saying to Packer, I think I might have the points lead, so pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, congrats, Lando, and yeah, it was a good P2.
Yeah, I never really had a chance to go through the standings or anything at any point. It was just a very busy qualifying and race. You sounded your mic was breaking up a little bit. I still managed to make out what you were saying there, but you sound a little
Uh,
auto-tuned. So nice
okay.
little remix on the podium interview for us. I did Jinnit make it in here? I don't know. I never saw him join. He did not. So Jinnit didn't join the party. I thought he'd be all over that, gobbling up an opportunity to get on the mic and get on the podium interviews, but unfortunately didn't make it in there. So I think we'll wrap things up for the night.
Is this better?
It sounds
Hello?
a bit better. It sounds like you're just getting interference or something. I could still hear you. It wasn't like the end of the world. I'm sure
Okay. Well,
everybody can make out what you were saying still, but
yeah.
just a little
Well,
auto-tuned.
it's more of like I had the same problem in
Ah, there he is.
comms a couple weeks ago, so it might be my mic. But
Okay, no worries. Yeah, it could be
Sorry
just
about that.
acting up. No worries, man. I thought maybe you were just heading off to bed or something like that. But before we wrap things up, I was just about to wrap things up, but Jinnit has popped in for what must feel like a nice little slice of redemption, returning to the podium here in Tier 1. How you feeling after that drive? That was a great drive.
Yeah, man. Just nice and smooth. Kept it simple. Safety car come in very handy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. What's going on over there? You playing with your toys or what?
Now the little one's asleep and left the tablet on, so I've got to turn that off in a bit.
Yeah, sounds like you're celebrating with your toys over there. You're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, get my toys out. All right.
But yeah, man.
No, a really good drive. Some nice overtaking. You put yourself in all the right spots. You managed the mediums well. Camden did the same thing. The guys that were started on the mediums managed really well, and both sort of took advantage of VSC or safety car to get a cheap pit stop in there. So just a sort of uneventful race for you, right?
Yeah, Eric was a nut short as well, right at the end. Just
Oh,
a little
man.
nut.
Yeah. If he had just... man.
I was out of
so
VRS on that
close.
last
Yeah,
day.
everybody was.
If he would have harvested the DRS, he would have got me.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. And he probably also was sitting there thinking, like, oh, I can't afford to be, too far behind.
I had damage as well. I think everyone got damage, like, in the same few corners, because Packer and J. Cole, like, kind of went at it coming out of T1.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I think we overtook Packer then, and then I got damage in T2, like, not long after J. Cole spun in T2. Fucking hell, it's just a calamity. I'm sure Eric might have picked up damage, because if he didn't have damage, he should have easily got past me.
Yeah.
And then I seen Camden's tyres start to die off, and I was thinking, yes, I could be in here then. About 2 corners later, my rear started to go, like, so that was cut short then. It was all about trying to keep in DRS from Eric.
But yeah, it's nonetheless, like, you finally had a good race out there with no incidents, no spins, no crashes, no time penalties, which is huge. Obviously, that paid off big time. It's kind of hard to do here without taking your win.
You don't get time penalties at back here, you just get DNFs if you take it too much.
Yeah, exactly. So it all kind of fell into place for you nicely tonight. Put a good drive together and ended up snagging that podium. J. Cole sort of threw it away on you, but nonetheless, you're in the right spot to redeem and get yourself up there. So, yeah, really solid drive from all 3 guys on the podium tonight. We're going to wrap things up. Lando, congrats once more on getting your win. Obviously, last week was a bit tragic. You pretty much had one in the bag there and sort of just threw it away, and I guess that's the way she goes sometimes. This is how it is. Camden, another solid drive, showing why you were contending for the title last season, back in P2 again, and as you mentioned, possibly in the lead of the championship, and that's what the consistency does, man. You hang out in that P2, P3 spot every week, and some guys have an off night, and you're there still, and you start to gain. So, congrats on another good drive, and Jinnit, of course, on returning to the podium.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and glad to have you guys in the booth with me. Thanks for popping in for the interviews. We're going to wrap things up. Don't forget, Thursday night, 8 p.m., Tier 2 goes for Baku, and then Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time, we're going to do the final round of Baku for Zenith Online Racing. That'll be round 3 wrapped up. And next week, we move on to round 4. I don't know where we're going next week, so check on those socials.
Austria.
All right,
Austria.
Maybe Austria.
Australia.
Australia?
Australia.
Austria.
Australia. Well, it's one of those two.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll catch you next week, Monday night, 8 p.m. for Tier 1. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hit subscribe if you're new. If you're watching this after, you can get those notifications when we go live. You can pop in, hang out in the chat with us next week. So, have a good night. We'll catch you next time.